I've been a Christian since I was 11. I truly gave my life to Christ when I was at a Lift event. They had an altar call obviously after the gig. They said, does anyone want to give their life to Christ? So I put up my hand, then I said the sinner's prayer for the first time, and I got prayed for, and then I got baptized. I was 13 when it was my first scattering. I remember I was so painfully shy. So talking to strangers, period, was just so daunting. I was like, oh, how is this gonna go? This is just really out of my comfort zone. But then when I first did it, it was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I ended up enjoying it, and I was like, oh, I definitely can do this.
When Priscilla first came to New River, she came with a family, but she was just so shy, so withdrawing. But I literally have seen her over the years grow from a shy, quiet girl into this incredibly courageous and bold woman of God.
So I've done the scattering a total of 5 times. There have been many friendships that I've formed through doing the scattering alone. We're all still in touch because a lot of us have gone to uni this year. Just being in touch with one another, encouraging one another and loving on each other, even though we're all very far apart. It still feels like I'm still with them. It's given me confidence knowing that I'm not the only one who's a Christian in my generation, because it is really easy to think you're alone. Being around people who are around my age, seeing the way that they're also on fire for Christ, it definitely encouraged me in my faith.
The scattering really provides a great opportunity for young people to together overcome their fears and get out onto the streets and see how easy it is once they get going to share their faith. When we first tried to encourage them to go and stand at a bus stop and talk to people, they just were all terrified. But since then, I've literally seen her stand up in the town centre and preach on a microphone. And even when people reject her or ignore the message, she just carries on and preaches and just shares what God's really done in her life. But it's the togetherness that encourages them.
Through the scattering, my relationship with God has definitely changed. It's definitely become more wanting to definitely read my Bible, pray all the time, and genuinely having that confidence to share my faith. It's definitely where the fire of God really just came upon me and just giving me that extra prompt to share the gospel and share my faith with the people around me. The CU was set up by one of my friends who I met through the scattering. He went to the same sixth form, but he was in the year above. He was like, oh, do you want to lead the CU after I'm gone? I definitely was confident, especially after doing the scattering. I was like, if I can do it with strangers, I can do it in my school. We would have our sessions every Thursday at a lunchtime. And it was really encouraging because at first there was only, I think, maybe 3 or 4 of us at the beginning of the year. And then by the end, it was almost 20 people. I'm currently at uni. What the scattering has trained me for has basically been what I've been using at uni. There'll literally maybe be times that I will just have the opportunity and just share it. Maybe I'm sitting in my friend's kitchen or my kitchen, and people do have a genuine respect for me for loving Jesus so openly. Having God at the center of everything, that's definitely what's been the fundamentals for me.